Good morning, good evening, or good night to the lovely people watching. I'm going to keep this video short because most of your attention span is fucked up because of the internet. Beginning the video with an insult. Woo! In today's video, we'll be speaking about family and role models, more leaning towards masculine fathers, because I believe that people should have masculine fathers in life. So, family is not only bound by blood, it is who you deem as family. I remember that there's one of my friends that grew up with only his mother. It wasn't before recent years that he got a stepfather in his life, but that stepfather turned quickly into someone he called dad. Then that could also correlate towards another point. You know when the internet says, oh, you shouldn't date single mothers? Point proven wrong. It was just a good example of someone your mom loves and likes. She took a chance on him. It worked. And now this dude has someone he deems as father in his life. He used to be an obnoxious child. But when he got a father role in his life, because I'm not going to say anything about his biological father, but when this man filled his biological father's shoes, not only did he become his dad, but he treated him as one of his own. Just to prove a point that, wow, having a masculine man in his life changes perspective. 2-3 years ago, he didn't know how to change tires. Now this motherfucker's a mechanic. Proud of him, to be fairly honest. But it was just an example of him deeming someone else as a father. I know another person that grew up without siblings. His close social friend group, 2 of them he deems as brother. One of them is his blood brother. You can Google that, I'm not going to explain it. Again, someone he deems as family. Interesting fact, these 2 people, his mother sees them as her own children and treats them as if there was her own. The thing, I believe, has a brain is the internet. Take Reddit, take whatever you want to think on social media. Our viewpoint is heavily influenced on internet. I'll give an example. All of my friends, none of them are normal. They have some got a mental disorder. There's some fucking nutcases. Heck, even my family members are a little fucking weird. But I like it, I love it. I know a person who is transgender. One of my closest bros is a Muslim. Do you think I give a fuck about their ethnicity, their skin color, their body function, their size? No, because I'm done. I've grown too old, even though I'm 23 years old, to think that, wow, that person is fat. That person might, no. I hate just, even when I catch myself thinking, yep, you just judged a book by its cover. Shame on you. Shame on me for doing that. Because I don't know what's going on. If that person ate themselves to that size, okay. If someone has a disorder, okay. Because we don't even know if this person is actually struggling and trying their very, very best to fix themselves. And to prove a point to all your friends or whatever your perspective is, the transgender person I know, the decision they took to go from a man to a woman is their responsibility, is their choice. They grew up in a home with siblings and both of their parents. When this person decided to go to become a female because they feel it was born in the wrong body, they're an adult. They made a decision. They got a few question marks from their family first, but initially they had to accept it. The same goes for, okay, a little completely different example, but whenever I get tattoos, my family don't always approve of them, but they have their own perspective, their own a different generation than me. We are so preoccupied, especially my age, so preoccupied about status, money, fame, that we forget the very, very thing that is important to us all: family, relations, connections, small moments. Every single day I walk by the mirror, I look at myself just thinking, yeah, I got this tattoo because I designed it. Of course, heavily influenced by my tattoo artist of filling in a lot of blanks that I failed at. But I'm doing this because of me. Take my Muslim friend. Believes Allah is the way, and he thinks that the Quran is the right way to walk. He has also said to me, which also proves the fact that I'm an atheist. He doesn't give a single-handed fuck about me being an atheist. I don't give a single-handed fuck about him being a Muslim. I got complete respect for it, but don't take that out of context. We trained together like we were the same blood. That makes me a good person. Honestly, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I believe that the things that I've recently gone through in the thought process when I'm thinking with a realistic mind, I'm actually a good person. The values that I have, the morals that I follow, I'm not perfect. I got my issues too. But I'm grateful for the people around me that has taught me these sort of things. I wouldn't be the man that I am today without my father. I wouldn't have a good and soft heart without my mother. I wouldn't have a backbone if it wasn't for my sister. I wouldn't be able to read if it wasn't for my grandmother. I wouldn't be patient and happy if it weren't for family. Every single-handed thing, everything from my thinking process, everything from my decisions, are heavily influenced and based on people that I surround myself with. What I want you to take with a grain of salt is question sometimes the things around you. I remember that there were once I had a person that I deemed as a brother once, and I had him in one of my social circles. When I started to question the friendship from a realistic standpoint, like, what does he have to offer? I mean, not money, not status, not loyalty, but I mean more like, recently I known a pattern about certain things. When I brought it into the light with a conversation, I understood that this friendship is not worth it. So when I removed myself from the situation, I felt a sense of relief that, wow, because my body was even showing early signs of, every single time I was hanging out with him, I was drained emotionally. So it was time to cut him off. And one last thing I'd like to bring into the light. I got 2 minutes left. It was a video that I made not too long ago that said the brutal reality about dating. You date whoever you want to date. You have your preferences. You, yes, listen to the word. You, your life, your choice. If you decide that this woman is someone I want to spend the rest of my life with, you've had the conversations about future plans, emotional connections, sexual preferences, open minded about the conversation about it, if you want kids, if you don't want kids, and so on and so on. Moved in together, is working out, but your closest friends didn't approve it. Your father didn't approve it, but you followed through the idea anyway, and your gut instinct was right. Even though family is one of it is my first moral, that family comes before everything else. I remember very, very well, just to give an example, my family didn't approve my tattoos, but they had to accept it because it was my choice. One last great advice, I believe. When you believe is a powerful thing. If you believe the thing that you're about to do, that you don't need an education because you're already working a work that pays you pretty well and you want the promotion and you believe this career path is your destiny, then have that uncomfortable conversation with your mom and dad and say, Mom, Dad, I understand that you believe I should go to school, but the position in my life up right now and the things that I'm facing, I wouldn't want any different. So I'm not going to school. I'm not going to law school. I'm not going to become a doctor. Sometimes you need to face the uncomfortable truth in order to grow. Even my mom, my dad, two people I love the highest in my life, grateful for two. There are times where I need to have an uncomfortable conversation with mom. There are times where dad needs to, not physically, just metaphorically, take me by the neck and say, hey, we need to do this. We need to have a conversation, or you need to help me. Times like that is a must in life. Do you know how I got to that? I sacrificed. I sacrificed comfort, video games. I sacrificed comfort. I sacrificed scrolling on social media for reading instead. My grandparents were fucking always right. Reading is one of the greatest things for your mind. Instead of sitting on your phone all day scrolling. Going out in nature, hugging a tree. It helped. When I'm flustered and frustrated, I go to the gym. But I'm not perfect. I still have my days where oops. But it's all thanks to a family and a masculine father. But at the same time, I've seen many other people prove me wrong, where they've been raised by single mothers, where they've been raised by two dads, where they've been raised by two mothers, where they've been raised on their own. But they're better than me in many ways. But I believe generally that everyone should have a masculine role model, even if it's one of your brothers or fathers, or even if it's your teacher being a role model. I believe having a masculine figure in your life will teach you a lot of things. It is you versus you. Fuck everyone else but Sequence when you need it. Cheers, mate.